All right, Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today, I just want to get into the famine and how it's pretty much it's creeping up on the people, man. This is one of the plagues Yahweh Shai, the God of the Bible, is going to send to Babylon, which is America. That's one of the chief plagues, that's going to befall this place. Because look at it. This is the most obese country. You got a term called mukbang. Motherfucker having food eating contest, food challenge. You got 50 minutes to eat this 10-pound burrito. That's here on display here in Babylon the Great, man. There's something on the back end that's gonna come behind that. The lack of bread and water. People gonna be reduced to cannibalism. That's one of the things that comes with the famine. That's how you know you really in the famine. The niggas start looking tasty to other niggas, man. But I got a series of articles on that, show you where we at in this process. Prophecy is blossoming, and one of those prophecies is the famine that's going to consume America. So this is from USA Today, and this came out a few weeks ago. It reached 13,000 pounds of frozen chicken breast recalled due to listeria risk. And this double with really these food processing plants, that shit already off. The FDA approves so much bugs and this and that within your food. So of course this is gonna be the outcome. Shit like that happens. Especially how this devil do and deals in processed food, and they got preservatives and he freezing it. That shit fucks it up, man. So this is the results of recall. It says more than 13,000 pounds of frozen chicken breasts have been recalled due to a potential listeria contamination. Susanna's Kitchen, based in Georgia, recalled about 13,720 pounds of ready-to-eat grilled chicken breast fillets. See, that's off. There ain't no telling. That shit they probably had you put that shit in the microwave or something, man. They're ready to eat shit. That's why the destruction gotta come, man. This shouldn't be a thing. That's why when Solomon, he looked in the future, he said, damn, this gotta be an error. The Lord set this man up. It says because they may pose a risk of listeria monocytogenes. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA Food and Safety Inspection Service announced on January 16th. And and just going back to these guys, them niggas allow so much shit to go through anyway. It was a article came out a few years back. How the FDA got, they allow so much spider legs within, this amount of peanut butter. It should only be this many spider legs within it. Show you that shit in there, they just want to contain how much get in it. But these Americans, man, this is going to contribute to their You know, that pride. You know, nigga got food at his disposal. That would contribute to these people that probably got nuggets and shakes, boba. Let's see, I got another article. It says nearly 650,000 pounds of tater tots recalled due to plastic contamination. FDA, see? And the Super Bowl just passed. You know, them niggas probably throwing back because they threw back chicken fingers, nuggets, wings, or the fries. And some niggas had tater tots, man. And as you can see, due to plastic contamination. Because these devils already told you that it's microplastics every fucking well. You got forever chemicals, these terms, under the watch of this devil, the so-called white man. This just further proves that he needs to be violently removed. But just going back to the point of the results of all these things, this is going to lead to the lack of bread and water, because it ain't like they got another 650,000 somewhere stashed up just in case. No, they got to be a whole nother process to get that shit. You know, they got to have more potatoes or go back to the lab and get more, you know. Let's see, I got one more article. It says more than 22,000 pounds of raw beef recalled for potential E. coli contamination. See, them niggas, fingerprints all over this shit, man. The Lord is causing this devil to do all these things. Because best believe you don't think Esau, the Lord set him up to formulate this, you know. This nigga ain't trying to, he's not for the welfare of the people. Of course, this is a sinister plan behind these things, but just going back to the point, the results of lack of food and water, you know. And just going back to the point, this is what's going to combat that pride, you know. This was going to combat that pride. Let's see, right, the book of Revelation chapter 18 and verse 7. It says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. See? Yeah, of course, Babylon the Great. You know, the later kingdoms, just look at how this shit set up. We got running water, flush a toilet, DoorDash. Well, see, anything can come to the door now. Box, a car, whatever the case may be, is literally at your fingertip by the way of an app. Yeah, so that's an actual literal saying. Is at your fingertips. Yet, a breath of fresh air is only figuratively, because you got chemtrails in the air to show you everything is turned upside down. But it says she have lived deliciously. It says so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I said, a queen, I'm no widow, and shall see no sorrow. See, so that is going to be flipped upside down, or right side up. So, motherfucker, yearly, you got your shit, your house is on 74 year round. Central out, central heat. Used to just coming on and just flipping the lights on and shit. The Lord's gonna pull the rug from under these people. Soon the water, once you turn that faucet, you just gonna hear air. That toilet ain't gonna flush after you took that dump. The grocery stores, it says soon the storehouses will be found empty, man. Because suddenly it's going to be found empty. You know? And that's what's going to combat that pride. It says, therefore shall her players come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. So that show you that's going to be one of the chief plagues that's going to being brought to Babylon the Great, America, which is famine. And how fitting! This is the most obese country in the world. Like I mentioned, DoorDash and Uber Eats. That's an American thing. 600-Pound Life, the series. It's not a documentary about just one guy. No, that's a series. It got many seasons with many episodes. Show you that's a thing here in America. So what's a fitting play for that? The lack of food. What's that? Let's get that in the book of 2 Esdras 8. In verse 50, it reads, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So the Lord is going to send great misery. And one of those things is going to be that famine. Because you ain't going to be able to be proud of that. You ain't going to be able to play it off that you ain't hungry. Because even you still got a little pride in you. Your stomach going to tell what's up by growling. And that's what's going to take over your decision if you don't trust in Yahweh by Shema Shai. Your other belly, your stomach going to start leading the charge. And that's going to be these people's motivation is what they're going to eat next. It's going to come down to that. Matter of fact, because it said they had walked the great pride. Let's get some real quick. Deuteronomy 8. In verse 3 it reads, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger. See? So they show you, starving someone, that humbles you. So these people under the times, we in the proud times. Scripture even talk about the proud times. This is very fitting for people to suffer from hunger. It says, he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knowest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. So therefore we got to trust in Yahweh by Shema Shai. Everything else going to be added unto the Lord will sustain us. But for everyone else, they're going to fall apart. I said that's what they're going to be driven by. They're going to let their stomach think for them. Famine, that's not that plague, because it's different forms of death. And that's up there. Like, of course, like fire. That's like the worst way. That's why you got the second death. You're drowning. The first death. And hey, said somebody fucking starving to death. That's up there. That's up there. That's one of the top worst ways to die, man. Because it's a process. Matter of fact, let's get it. Lamentations 4:9. It reads, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Yeah, because a nigga can get mowed down. He can just get shot in the head, and that's it. Or even, let's just say he did get light up and still, still got the spirit in him. The motherfucker might be in shock. All that adrenaline. You ain't really feeling that shit, and you pass out and die. But a famine, it says, for these pine away, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field. So you being physically and mentally tortured, man. And that's how it is with that, going back to that fire and that drowning shit. Because you thinking like, oh, shit. Whether you on fire, you trying to put it out or drowning, you trying to, you thinking and shit while that's going on. But even with that famine, it said you're going to still have those taste buds. This is a plague, a major plague Yahweh Shema Shai is sending to America. And it's blossoming in its perfection, man. Matter of fact, I ended off on this in the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16. And where is it? I think it's I get to the point, verse 21, it reads, Behold, Israel shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So the Lord got these people in the snare. Things can still be continuing as it perceived to be a functioning society. Yet, these things are growing in the earth. The prophecies is being perfected. It's coming into its fullness. So yeah, I can just hope to edifying. Let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the elect that teaches word on true faith and sincerity. Shalom.